Hi, and welcome to the 5-step process of PCOS to pregnancy. Now, if you go through the whole course videos, these processes are like divided throughout the course, but this is the most important video where you understand the comprehensiveness of these 5 steps. As a specialist gynecologist for 15 years, I have treated a lot of complications in pregnancy. But what I have noticed is that PCOS women, they don't have any problem getting pregnant. They get pregnant very quickly with some sort of fertility treatment, but they lose a lot of their pregnancies and it's traumatic. So it's like a normal woman who gets pregnant and she has a miscarriage. Yes, she also goes through trauma, but PCOS women struggle to get pregnant, and then when they get pregnant with treatment, and then they lose pregnancy, it's like a double whammy for them, right? So fertility treatment can cause a lot of complications like OHSS, miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, preterm labor, second trimester miscarriages. Apart from that, it puts you at risk for pregnancy diabetes, high blood pressure in pregnancy, infections, and your child might get insulin resistance. Your child might be at risk of childhood obesity, PCOS. Yeah. So, as a master certified life and weight coach, I have found out that there are these 5 steps every PCOS woman should take before she gets pregnant so that she gets pregnant at a natural body weight and she reduces her risk of complications as much as any normal woman would have. So, there are videos where you will first of all come to know whether you have PCOS, okay? Once you are sure that you have PCOS, then you can start following this 5-step process. And you can also get a Google Sheet, which is like a worksheet where you can start adding data, gathering data, which is one of the processes of the 5-step process, where you can start gathering data. So just click the link in bio and ask me to give me your email address and I can send you this Google Sheet for absolutely for free. All right, so you can start gathering the data. So the step 1 of this 5-step process is the planning process. This is very important because internet is full of information from world over, and there are doctors giving information, there are nutritionists giving information, there are health coaches who are giving information, gym instructors giving information about what a PCOS woman should do. There is pharma company, and then there is just patients who have past experience. There are people who have been through PCOS and the sufferings, and then they have found a better way. So it's like a lot of mixed information, and our brain generally tends to like consume all of it and just do whatever it wants to do. So we need to have a stable plan in place, which is the planning process, where we decide every month, okay, we're going to try this, or like you're going to just like make some decisions ahead of time about a few lifestyle issues which comes when it comes to PCOS. So the first decision you will take is like, how are you going to eat to improve your insulin resistance? And I have a video just to talk about that. Like, what are your food decisions going to be? What kind of foods are you going to like aim to eat? And how are you going to eat it? Like, how many meals are you going to have in a day? What are your food habits going to look like, right? So that is one decision. What foods are you going to avoid? The next decision you're going to take is like, how am I going to move every day? Like I recommend my clients to do at least 5 to 30 minutes of movement, like little bit extra movement than just walking and daily house chores. So at least that much commitment, like, okay, I'm going to be someone who exercises at least 5 minutes or 30 minutes every day for the rest of my life. That's something which is a habit that you can start inculcating in yourself. I have done that, and I didn't exercise to lose weight. That's not what I'm recommending. I'm asking you to exercise to improve your emotional well-being and your physical well-being. We need the movement, which many of you probably don't have. The next decision you would make is like being in bed for at least 7 to 8 hours. So in my guide, it says 6 to 7.5 hours. I'm saying 7 to 8 hours. You need to be in bed at night, preferably with your eyes closed, right? So that is the step 1 planning process. Step 2 is the tracking process, where we are going to progress towards our goal. And it's important to accept our current situation and gradually work towards where we want to be. So you can't really just like whatever you're planned in step one, it's not going to happen tomorrow. You're going to like go step by step, inch by inch towards it. And for that, you need to see where you are right now, right? And that's part of the tracking process. You can get my journal. Just email me your address and I will send you the Google Sheet. So, documenting our daily food intakes, exercise routines, sleep patterns can help us understand the impact of our habits on PCOS. Next is the step 3, which is the assessing process. This is the most important step, where even if you don't eat as planned as step 1, even if you don't do anything step 1, you have done step 2, come to the assessing process, because that's where we use our beautiful mind to understand why we do what we do. That's where we ignite the coach in us, right? That's what I do in a coaching session. I just keep asking my clients, why did you do that, right? So here we ask ourselves 2 very important questions. It's like, number 1, how did that food serve us? Like, what worked? Like, what was the logic behind eating that food? And the second one is like, what will I do tomorrow? And there are some more questions in the worksheet that if you can answer that, will be great. But these 2 questions, like how did that food serve us? Why did I eat that? And what will I do tomorrow? And I have added one more question, is like, did I eat beyond fullness? Which is because then I want you to keep checking every day, like, did my stomach hurt a little when I ate my last meal? So even if we make choices that are not in line with our step 1 or our plan, and we suppose eat like Oreos after dinner despite making a plan of eating healthy, documenting our current habits can help us understand why we made those choices. Why did I eat the Oreos? Which will increase our awareness of our food intake, because there's a problem that your brain is trying to solve with food. Like, the reason why you probably had Oreos is because you were like very frustrated throughout the day and you wanted to just like relax. And you don't want to go to work again tomorrow. You don't want to experience all of those feelings tomorrow. So the brain just offers Oreos. But that's not the case. This problem is going to come every night. We need to solve for it. Like, we need to change our attitude towards it. Because let's be honest, you're not quitting your job. All right? So let's change our attitude instead towards it. Let's change our mindset towards it. Like, how can we like to think differently about our jobs? Or whatever is the problem that your brain is trying to solve with food. Similarly, by tracking our sleep and exercise, we can identify underlying reasons for our current habits. Step 4 is the bonding process. Here we connect with our partners physically every day. And we can send a signal to both our brains, not just your brain, but to your partner's brain as well, that we are ready to connect, to make a baby. Now, we cannot control our partner's brain or thoughts or their emotions or even their actions. We think we can, but we can't. Luckily, our emotional barriers are based on optional thoughts that we can work to overcome by remembering our ultimate goal of becoming a mother. We need this person to bond with us at the right time when the egg is coming out. With PCOS, it's difficult to predict when an egg will form. So having sex every 2 to 3 days can increase our chances of conceiving with a healthy, fast-moving sperm. Also, regular sexual activity improves sperm production for men, which again is in favor of becoming a mother. Alternate day sex might be hard for some, so start with baby steps. Work your way up with a smile, a touch, a hug, a kiss, spooning when you're sleeping, and eventually sex. Remember, we must really meet ourselves where we are and move from there. Do what you can to tune into your body's feelings when you do the above. And the last step, step 5, is the celebration process. Celebration is a crucial component of these 4 steps, and it is important to avoid negative cycle of self-blame, guilt, and insecurity when we don't follow our plans. Recognize that our brain may default to this thinking and interrupt it by intentionally focusing on the celebration. No matter how we perform regarding food, exercise, sleep, or even sex and bonding, we can appreciate our efforts and cope with our emotions. For instance, if we had ice cream after dinner, we could celebrate having it in a cup instead of having it in a big container. Like, just out of the container. Remember, our ultimate goal is to optimize our chances of pregnancy through natural weight loss and help us stay motivated. So, this is the 5-step process, and I want you to review all the videos, take notes, use the Google sheet. If you I'm spreading out the Google sheet there in the video, you can see it. You can make your own if you want, or you could just get one which is readily made by me, or you can do it on pen and paper. Whatever works for you, do it the way you like it. But the most important habit that you would have to commit to while you're doing this 5-step process is committing to come back to the journal every day. No matter what happens, come back to the journal every day. Just remember to gather data and assess. That's where you use your beautiful mind to create this baby. All right, my friend, that's it. See you in the next one.